The KUM automatic long point. This is how the sharpener looks when it's brand new. This is how it looks inside the box, and this is how it looks after you've used it for about 1.5 years. And I have put it through rigorous use, and it's ended up being my most favorite sharpener, and I find myself reaching out to it almost all the time. So let me tell you why I say that at the outset. Uh, I really respect companies that think about long-term usability of their products, that make products that are not use and throw but are built to last. And that is demonstrated here by the fact that they give additional spare blades inside the sharpener. They made a small pocket inside the sharpener which carries two additional blades. Let's see if I can pull them out. And here you go. So I really don't know of companies that are selling products 20, 30, 50, 100 times the value that give even half or a tenth of the thought towards longevity of products that KUM does. So very happy to see a company thinking through the utility and use cases of their products, what might break. And here's the thing, this metal part will get dull over time as you sharpen pencils. But if you throw it away, you create so much plastic waste. So just adding two extra blades. Yes, it does reduce the recurring revenue, but then there are people like me who appreciate what they do, so we end up buying multiple of these to make sure that we have a sharpener for as long as we're using sharpeners. Alright, so this is the KUM automatic long point sharpener, and we will test all of these three claims in this video. So KUM is the make, what is automatic, is the point really long, and is it really sharp? So let's start the tests. In fact, let me do this with a fresh pencil, and this is again something that I saw for the first time in the sharpener. Usually when you have multiple openings in sharpeners, it is there so that it can fit multiple sizes of pencils. For example, the Staedtler, the smaller one says graphite. The larger one is for their color pencils or markers. So that's what I was familiar with until I found this. Now here, both both the openings are the same size, and that is because it is a two-stage sharpener. It says one here and two here. Not sure how well it is coming up in the camera. So when you start sharpening, what you do is the first one, it shaves off the wood and gives you a very clean stripped graphite core. And let's just do this. Also automatic. I am assuming by automatic they mean that it automatically stops pointing the lead once it thinks it is sharp enough. So you get to this point and then you see that it has reached the end. Now if you want really long points, what you can do is, this is plastic, the base in which the blades are mounted. So you might want to cut a notch here, and then you can essentially keep sharpening and stripping off the lead till you reach this point. And if you want it even longer, cut it all the way through. Anyway, so you do this, it has reached this, and so this is where you stop. This is where the pencil automatically stops sharpening. So now you put it in the second stage, and here what it'll do is it'll start grinding the blade, the graphite now. So what you'll see is I'm just bending it slightly so that the dust gets collected inside the sharpener and does not go everywhere. So you'll see the lead is now sharpened. And this is actually turning out to be a much longer demo than I had envisaged. But overall, this is the first time you sharpen a pencil with it, it takes a bit of time, but then once you get started with them, it is pretty good. Also, in fact, while we're doing this, you should remember that the first time, even if you use a pencil that is sharpened by some other lead pointer or sharpener, it does not work well immediately, and it takes a couple of sharpenings with this specific sharpener to get the pencil to start working properly in it. And you'll see how fine of a dust it creates. And this is the point. Oh, we still haven't reached the sharp tip. Let me just empty. Also, this allows you to collect the graphite dust even from the wooden pencils because it is not mixed with the wood part. And okay, let's just okay, it is almost done, and we still have not reached the full point. So let's do this a little more. I really should have prepared a script for what I would be saying while all of this demo was happening, but we're now through. This is the point that it has created. It took a while on this pencil, and this is the line width of the point. I think I'm very happy with the point that it creates, and yeah, it is long enough. There is a typical thing that this does. You will see that it leaves a little bit of a hat that, if you recall, while we were taking the wood off, you would remember that it creates these notches in the lead as it passes through the end of the pencil. So let me just do this one again. And what you'll see is that this part, as the lead crosses this part, it leaves a spiral trail on the lead, and that is something that gets left behind. Oh, now that we've done this, let's just do a quick pointing on this one because the last one took ages. Let's see how quickly this one happens. And I think we are almost done. Yeah, the point is ready. So brand new pencil took a while, but yeah, it usually does not take that long. Now it is not just for wooden pencils. It is a combi sharpener. So while we looked at the two-stage sharpening for wooden pencils, it has two additional openings. One for 2 mm pencils, 2 mm lead holders, and one for 3.5 mm lead holders. All of this you will find inside the desk. For all of this, you will find notations on the box along with the sizes. So down here it says 3.15 mm once the camera decides to focus. 3.15. What is wrong with the camera? Yes. So you will see here it is 3.15 mm and 2 mm. So let's give the 2 mm part a go. I always forget which side is 2. I think it's the white one. Let's see. Yes. So again, this produces a nice fine dust and a very, very sharp point. Just look at this. It is sharp, it is long. So I think, as we were saying, it automatic holds up. Automatic is the wooden pencil stop. Long point checks out. The points are pretty long. I think the advantage of having a long point, there are merits to both. There are merits to having a shorter, shallower point as well. It gives you a different writing feel and writing feedback. A longer one stays relatively sharper for longer. As a consequence, you need to sharpen it less. But maybe at some point it leads to increased wastage because you may not always need that sharper point. So you're just creating a lot of waste in the form of the dust. But anyway, I think on the whole, this sharpener is absolutely fantastic. 3.15, I do not have a 3.15 mm lead with me, but what I do have is a wooden pencil where I stripped the wood off so that this was for drawing. Let me just quickly do a test for this as well. It goes in and it sharpens very well. This is the 3.15 mm lead and how it sharpens. So yes, functionally it is absolutely great, no complaints at all. And it works every time. It has been my staple on my desk since I discovered it. Yes, you will see that the plastic cover. Now this is where it gets slightly interesting. This cover, it does not come with a hinge, with a typical hinge. Instead, it is just a pliant mechanism. It is just the plastic itself that bends and folds. So while it lasts for a bit, eventually it breaks. And when it breaks, as you've been seeing right now, you cannot expect to carry it with the shards and the shavings inside inside the sharpener. But that is something you anyway cannot do with it. Why? Because there is no isolation between the shavings that you collect inside the sharpener and the entry points. So even if you leave something inside it and it's in a bag or you're carrying it in your pocket, all of the dust, graphite dust, and wood shavings can start coming out from these very holes. So this is mostly, I think, ornamental. The cover, essentially, the only benefit could be that if you're in a place where that is windy or you have a ceiling fan or a wall fan on, if you leave it covered, it will not fly off while you're working, and then you can empty it before you toss this back inside your bag. But apart from that, that is all that this is good for. Having said that, even once the top breaks, the blades work perfectly fine, and I anyway keep the top open while I'm sharpening because I like to see how far the blade has sharpened. So that is not very visible when you're working with the 2 and the 3 mm pencils, 3.5 mm, 3.15 mm pencils, for the simple reason that all of the dust starts collecting here. And once it is collected here, it just gets in the way of seeing the lead. Let me just show it again. So once you put it inside, you really can't see where the lead is. So you just have to pull it out and keep checking. But visibility is good when it comes to the wooden pencil sharpening. In fact, I had migrated completely to using wooden pencil, to using 2 lead holders, um, until I found these, and they reignited the love of wooden pencils for me. The two-stage sharpening. So yes, the credit where it is due. Let's get all the sharpened pencils back on screen once. One, two, three, and four. So these are the kind of points you can expect from this. Also, as a daily carry, I do not think this is the ideal lead pointer or sharpener that you want to carry around with you. It is just too bulky. For that, you have this is too heavy, but you have smaller sharpeners. You have a single sharpener that is available in the Staedtler, or I have previously reviewed the uni lead pointer. Just let me get that 1 second. Yeah, so this uni, look at the size. This is a really tiny sharpener, about the size of a thumbnail and a half. So this is a really good one for traveling. This one is absolutely jumbo in comparison, and it works well as a desk sharpener, but not for travel. In fact, this one is a smaller one. It comes with multiple brand names on it. So this is also very good for traveling. Anyway, the travel pointers we'll probably talk about in a different video. But think of this mostly as a desk pointer, as a desk sharpener that you keep with you. And that is largely all there is to say about this. As always, we come to the final recommendation point, to buy or not to buy. This sharpener is absolutely amazing. The makers KUM are very thoughtful in terms of providing providing spare leads, spare blades along with the sharpener, which is very rare. It does what it promises. It is it creates long points, and it works every time. In fact, it's quite durable as well. Over last 1.5 years, the blades have not dulled, so you can expect quite a long service from this. The price point, it is on the expensive side. At least in India, I think it is about 70 to 100 times the price of a regular sharpener that you can pick off the shelf in any stationery store. Um, so yes, it is steep, but I think for the experience and the unique two level sharpening that it provides, it is definitely worth a try. Plus, it is a one tool that does everything. So if you switch between wooden pencils and 2 lead holders and 3.15, 3.2 lead holders, you don't have to carry three or four different lead pointers with you. This one will do the job for all the lead pointers and all the pencils you're carrying. Just a final test on the point that it creates, quickly drawing some lines. And that is all I had to say about this. Thank you very much for your time and have a wonderful day. If there are any questions, clarifications, queries that you have, leave them in the comment section below. The review of this one is already up on the channel, and the others are coming soon. Depending on when you're watching, they might already be there. Check out the relevant playlists and have a wonderful day. Bye bye. Ah, before we go, about this pen, this is a Moonman M600 in purple. It's got a very nice chatoyance inside. It is black and gold trim. Of course, the nib is steel, which is gold plated, and the ink inside this is Syahi Brinjal purple. And now we can finally wrap this up. Thanks again. Bye bye.